Hi everyone, I'm Brittany Walker.
And I'm Derek Essary, and together we sell real estate.
Happy November. Today we're going to take a look at what the Salinas market did in the month of October 2023. So we had an increase of 15% in average sales price to $889,000. We had a super strong October.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting statistic here. And even this next one is good news for sellers. On average, sellers were receiving 100% of their asking price this past month. And that's actually stayed consistent over the last few months now.
We did have a dip in the number of properties that sold in October. We dipped 23% to only 43 homes that actually closed in the month of October. And so that is, I feel like, going to become the norm as we trend into that Q4 of 2023. It usually gets quieter towards the tail end of the year. What do you think, Derek? Do you think that we're going to see properties kind of increase? You think we'll have a spike in November of properties sold, or do you think we'll kind of just close out the market this direction for 2023?
I think it's going to say pretty darn similar to what we saw this past month as we approach the holidays. Again, I think it'll be definitely dependent on what interest rates do, if the Fed makes any changes to anything like that, that maybe motivates some buyers to get out there right before the holidays. But I mean, if we're looking at what a traditional market did really before COVID, this is feeling very normal to what previously we saw.
Which
Um,
I think is actually really wonderful because for the past handful of years, we've just had our hair on fire, right? The market's been absolutely wild. So to go back to a stable market, to say things like a normal historical market, feels really good to people like us, right? And hopefully to consumers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we take a look at how long it actually takes for a home to sell, meaning from the day it goes on the market to a day a seller actually accepts an offer, we're seeing that the market's saying it takes about 30 days on average, which is up about 22% from previous months. I think one factor of this is going to be kind of what we already talked about is as we enter the holidays, things usually do take a little bit longer because there's going to be less buyers out there looking. There might also be a little bit less sellers out there, but I think the combination of interest rates and entering holidays is going to kind of hover us right around 30 days, which by all means is a very reasonable amount of time for a home to sell.
So, the last statistic that we're going to look at today is the number of new listings hitting the market. So, in the month of October, we saw 52 listings hitting the market, which that is 22% less than we had seen the past couple of months. But I do feel like for October, that's pretty darn normal for our area. And the one thing that I really wanted to make sure that our, clients are taking a look at is that sales to list price ratio being 100%. One piece of the puzzle that we don't always talk about is that we're looking at what that sales price was at the time it got into contract, not necessarily that original list price. Because I feel like in the Salinas market, we have seen a number of properties have to have a price decrease over the past, 30, 60 days. And so I think that those kind of can skew sometimes in what it looks like on paper. And so I would just encourage anybody who's watching this who's considering selling, now's the time to be super competitive when you're looking at your sales price and really conservative when you're comparing it to what homes have sold for and what might have been a more active time in the market.
Yeah, well, and obviously you're super active in the Salinas market. Do you feel like you have seen price reductions in the last few months, or what are you seeing?
I feel like it's really taken a big shift in the past, I would say, 4 weeks. I think that we had a super strong September. The homes that were coming on the market, I would say those that were priced properly to begin with, they were selling in 7 to 10 days. Then you had everything else that was selling that took longer to sell because maybe it wasn't priced as properly in the very beginning. But about a month ago, I would say that we started to see the trend where sellers were pushing the limits on asking price, and now they're having to step back a little bit and lower their price. And then we're seeing more activity, which will increase our days on market.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think one thing, if you're a buyer or a home seller, is figuring out what the market timeline looks like right now, and then meeting with your real estate agent to put together how that lines up with your goals. Let's say maybe you're planning on moving, spring of next year. Now would be the time to put together that actual plan to where we can have a successful transaction when you actually would like to sell your home. So when we talk about this data, obviously it's generalized for all of Salinas. There's so many different neighborhoods and zip codes that really vary on price points and even that average days on market. So reach out to us. We can put together information that's more specific to your actual neighborhood and then kind of talk through a timeline of what we could do to make sure it works for you.